In this video, we are going to work through problem 880 from our book about American alligators. If you haven't watched the 8.78 video yet, it's exactly the same problem. In that problem in 8.78, we calculated a 95% confidence interval as well as a 99% confidence level. And we compared those two, right? And that basically was to illustrate that when you decrease the confidence level, that yields a more accurate estimate. Okay. And in problem 878, it's pretty much the exact same confidence level that they're talking about. Except in here, in problem 880, they're talking about the margin of error. Okay. So determine the margin of error for the 95% confidence interval. Okay. And so this is the from 8.78, and part A is where I calculated the confidence interval, right, for the 95% confidence interval, right? And so this number right here, right, is the margin of error, right, for that confidence interval, right? The formula for the margin of error, this is 880, right, for part A. The formula for the margin of error, E, right, is Z of alpha over 2 sigma divided by square root n, right, the multiplication of those two. So for part A, the margin of error, right, is going to be 1.96 times 100 divided by the square root of 68. All right, and we can go calculate that out. So we get a margin of error of 23.77 to 2 decimal places. Okay. All right, part B. Determine the margin of error for the 99% confidence interval. And remember, for the 99% confidence interval, the only difference, right, sigma was the same at 100, the sample size was the same at 68, right, and the only difference was the z of alpha over 2, right? And so for part B, the z of alpha over 2 is going to be 2.575, right, for a 99% confidence interval. All right, but otherwise everything else is going to be exactly the same for this problem. So I get 31.23. All right, so just remember this one. First one was for the 95% confidence interval, and this one was for the 99. All right, and so we can see that just like they mentioned in about the thing for confidence and accuracy, is if you drop the confidence level, right, then that's going to improve the margin of error. All right, so for a 99%, it was 31.23 was the margin of error, right? We dropped that down to 95% on the confidence level. You can see that the margin of error is now down to 23.77, okay? So dropping the confidence level is going to reduce the margin of error, right? And that also means that you're going to have a more accurate estimate. Okay, and again, you do give something up, right? you give up some confidence, right, in your answer, right? It's more accurate, but you're not as confident that in that answer as you would be with this 99%. Okay. All right, and that is it for this problem 880.